Today, one of the tense moments from the Ukrainian frontline, small drones, in particular FPV kamikazes, have become a key weapon in the war of attrition currently being waged in Ukraine. A NATO official recently told Foreign Policy magazine that FPVs caused more than two-thirds of Russia's tank losses in recent months, eclipsing artillery, guided missiles, and other weapons. Both sides are now turning out vast quantities of FPVs, but recently Russia's battlefield drone strikes have faltered while Ukraine's have surged as never before. What is behind Russia's failure? The FPV drone, a small racing quadcopter converted into a kamikaze, is a low-cost precision weapon capable of knocking out tanks and other targets from 20 kilometers, 12 miles away. They have proven equally effective against artillery, infantry positions, and trucks. As 2023 wore on and thousands of FPVs were deployed, both sides started to appreciate just how important this new weapon was becoming. If state doesn't throw large resources into this industry FPVs now, the situation will worsen dramatically for our troops in a couple of months, Ukrainian drone fundraiser warned last November. FPVs can be assembled from commercial components for less than $500, and Ukraine is sourcing them from dozens of small organizations, including the startup Eskadron and nonprofit Wild Hornets. A government initiative even encourages people to assemble FPV drones at home in their spare time, and these diverse efforts seem to have paid off. Ukraine reportedly produced some 50,000 drones in December and averaged more than 100,000 a month in January and February, well on the way to President Zelensky's goal of 1 million drones in 2024. Currently, Ukraine's military reported another 1,040 Russian troops eliminated between Wednesday and Thursday, which if accurate would make that 24-hour period the deadliest for Moscow's forces since 1,050 were reported eliminated on March 22. The latest toll brings the total number of Russian casualties claimed by Kyiv since February 2022 to 462,900. The figure is higher than U.S. estimates, which as of February were at around 315,000 Russian troops dead or wounded in battle. The Ukrainian military on Thursday also reported another 13 tanks destroyed for a total of 7,255 since February 2022, another 28 artillery pieces for a total of 11,836, and one more air defense system for a total of 772. Neither Kyiv nor Moscow releases their own detailed casualty figures. BBC News Russian and independent Russian media outlet Mediazona have confirmed around 50,000 Russian deaths since February 2022, and another 25,000 or so killed fighting for Moscow from the occupied Ukrainian regions of Donetsk and Luhansk. Ukraine also said on Thursday that, over the previous day, Russia has suffered troop losses of 1,040, the first four-figure number since April 12. The latest figures put Moscow's troop losses over the course of the war at around 462,980, a tally that includes both dead and injured. Accurate troop losses are difficult to assess. Among them were 3,300 officers of the Army and other security forces, and 390 had the rank of lieutenant colonel and above. This was based on publicly available information, such as obituaries, graves, and inheritance cases, and was likely to be an underestimate. Mediazona said that more than 27,300 Russian soldiers died in the second year of combat, showing the human cost of the marginal gains made by Moscow as the Russians engaged in the so-called meat grinder strategy. A New York Times report in August 2023 cited U.S. officials as putting the Ukrainian death toll at close to 70,000. President Volodymyr Zelensky in February acknowledged 31,000 Ukrainians killed in action since the start of the full-scale invasion. Russian forces appear to be sustaining significant losses as Moscow's plotting offensive grinds on along the Eastern Front. The Kremlin's troops are on the offensive around the captured Donetsk cities of Avdiivka and Bakhmut, while also pushing forwards in southern Zaporizhia Oblast and along the border of Luhansk and Kharkiv Oblasts in the east. It was also revealed this week that the US has already provided Ukraine with the long-sought-after long-range MGM-140 Army Tactical Missile System, colloquially known as the ATACMS. Ukrainian forces have reportedly already used the weapon, including in a strike on a military airfield in occupied Crimea. Ukraine is girding itself for an expected summer Russian offensive, preparatory operations for which are now ongoing. Among the possible targets for the fresh thrust is the strategic city of Chasiv Yar. Russian forces have been establishing operational and strategic level reserves to support their expected summer offensive effort, but likely have been doing so based on the assumption that even badly trained and poorly equipped Russian forces could make advances against Ukrainian forces that lack essential artillery and air defense munitions, the Institute for the Study of War wrote on Saturday. While Russian forces' losses of 4 kinds of equipment are about to hit notable milestones, according to the latest estimates by Ukraine, the Ukrainian Defense Ministry said on Thursday that, in the previous 24 hours, Russia had lost 14 armored fighting vehicles. This took the total number since the start of Vladimir Putin's full-scale invasion on February 24, 2022 to 13,942, only 58 shy of 14,000. Kyiv says these do not claim to be particularly accurate, although they do give an idea of the general order of losses. How many billions of dollars are left in the form of Russian scrap metal in the fields of Ukraine? Kyiv has been fighting with depleted ammunition as the Ukrainians await military assistance worth over $60 billion that has just been passed by US Congress, and Ukraine is expected to receive a new tranche of equipment within days. Other round numbers of losses loom for Russian forces, according to Kyiv, which said in its latest update that 57 cars and cisterns had been lost the previous day, taking the total over the course of the war to 15,949, or 51 short of 16,000.